And good morning, everybody. Welcome to Marshall County Today. It's the new talk show aimed at informing you about stories of people, businesses around your neighborhood. It's an extension of our Max Morning Show. And today, our guest is Mayor Robert Listenberger from the Mayor of Plymouth, as he joins us as he does every month. Mayor, good morning. How you doing,
my friend?
Good morning,
Tony. I'm struggling this morning.
I know, we all
That was
are.
a late night.
It really was.
Disappointing.
The NCAA is about the dumbest group of organization I know. Why would you have a 9 o'clock game?
9:10 or something. Yeah.
And neither team's from the West Coast.
Right.
Neither team.
Next year is the same thing. Did you see where they're in San Antonio next year, I think?
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
But it's still going to start at 9 o'clock?
Probably, yeah.
God,
I don't know.
It just dumbfound me. An organization that's worth billions and billions of dollars, and yet they can't make an easy, common sense start time for a college basketball game.
I don't know what time do you come in?
I usually try to get here by a little bit before 6. I usually have my prep work done and ready to go.
All right. Yep. Well, I'm on my third cup of coffee.
I just got done with one. I knew going into today it was going to be multiple coffee days.
Right.
But I've been good so far. I've only got one in. I'm trying to fight the urge to have more. But I may just get up and leave and get a cup of coffee while you're talking. So
okay.
I
don't blame you. So your buddies are traveling back this morning.
Yep, Marco and his group are coming back, and so he should be back with us tomorrow morning.
All right.
And for the show, and we'll see how he is. I know he's going to have a handful of stories he's going to share.
Those guys probably had a blast.
Knowing those guys, yes.
Yeah. Even the disappointment, they probably still had a great time. So
it was. But, UConn, if you ever were paying attention to that group, they're good. They got, 4 NBA draft picks that are going to go.
Yeah. No,
they're just solid.
Very impressive.
They sped us up, and we couldn't adjust, and we were tired by halftime. Didn't take any outside shots. Edie was working so hard. He was, he was pooped by halftime.
Oh yeah, you could see it on him. So yeah.
So
still they had a great run,
making it to the Final Four to the championship game for the first time in I don't know how many years.
I think,
but
it's
good. It was a nice run. It was a fun run to say the least. Yeah. I'm glad I got to see a couple of games, to say the least. And so, yep. Now get ready for football. Get ready for football.
Yeah, right.
College football.
Yep. Got to get through baseball.
I don't pay much attention to college baseball, though. I got to admit.
No.
The only one I pay attention to is Erin Caulfield of Kentucky for softball.
Oh, yeah?
That's the only one I pay attention to. She's amazing. She's going to play pro. She's been on the Olympic team now a couple years, or a couple times now.
Hey, we've got the Summer Olympics this year, right?
Is it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, well, that's something to look forward to.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure. Maybe you better fact check me, but I'm pretty sure.
I don't know on that one. But hey, I welcome it. I love watching.
I do too. That's always good.
Yeah.
So.
All right, man. What's going on? You guys had a city meeting last night. Anything big to talk about? Or
it was pretty routine. We passed some CF1s and stuff like that, kind of normal stuff. Nothing really jumped out. I will point out that, and we should probably talk a little bit about the downtown streetscape things going on in Plymouth. But
I'll dedicate the entire time to it. And,
you probably can.
Well, and the reason why is, we had that meeting. Let's just talk about it.
Okay, yeah.
If there wasn't anything big that happened last night, then Major League over.
Well, I'll touch on a few things later, but let's go ahead and.
Well, the streetscape meeting was a good meeting, and I thought it was pretty well attended for the most part.
Now, were you there? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
okay.
I came to it.
Good, thank you.
I'm going to be honest with you, and I may be one of the few businesses on Main Street here, that whatever you guys decide to do, I'm going to hop aboard on because I got a business invested in.
Right.
Okay, I get that. But there are some things that I need in front of my business that's got to get taken care of. My whole priority is
the tree.
daggum trees.
Yeah, right.
And it blocks our signage.
Well,
and it just creates a big mess. And I got to admit, I'm being personal about this. I was glad to hear other business owners complain about the trees.
Oh yeah, you're not the only one. Trust me.
It's a pain in the butt.
Right. It's the leaves are difficult. I mean,
the maintenance of it is horrible.
Yeah.
And when you look at our grill here, that's the base around the trunk, it's starting to uplift, which means the roots are getting bigger. And
so they tell me that these trees are probably 20 years past what they should have been. They're getting really way too big. The roots, I'm possibly climbing into some of the basements of the buildings downtown. And we just took one out on Adams Street, which was interesting to see. It had died, and we were able to get our eyeballs on what we're looking at when we remove these. And it did come out in one big, nice clump, but yet the roots were coming down the electrical chutes that are in there. They would just go right down there, and so the wiring's bad. It ruined that, and so we're going to see. It's going to be a little worse on Michigan Street, though. So, but we did get our eyeballs on it. The street department was able to take it out, and but slowly each one of these are going to die. So
right.
But we started this idea basically,
and we need to make sure people understand this. This entire idea of refreshing the downtown area is not going to happen in a 5-year plan. It's not going to happen even in a 10. I don't see it happening in a 10-year plan, except maybe little touches here and there, which is great. But this is going to be a long term. So
exactly,
you got to have a long.
I don't know if it'll be quite 10 years, but the trees need to come out before that. But
I'm saying I'm not even. I'd be thankful if it happened in 10 years, but I don't see it happening.
It's going to be a while. And so the idea is that we have a master plan of what it will look like someday, so that when people do want to do something, like for example, the Reese would like to do something sooner than later. They have a bunch of bricks that they had sold to sponsors, and so they would like to include that. So before they did that, I think it's a good idea that we have an overall plan for what the city could look like. So this was an attempt, or it's basically a process, and so we will be. We started this program. The Redevelopment Commission paid for the study. There'll be 2 or 3 more meetings. And everything we talked about in that first meeting was just ideas thrown at the wall, and everything's on the table, and it will be nothing set in stone. We talked about the parallel parking, we've talked about angle parking, we put reverse angle parking. There's bump outs possibly. I'm sure we'll have other ideas, and so right now we'll get it to what we think makes everybody happy. That's what we'll try to do. You can never make everybody happy.
No.
But, it's just the start of it. So I want to caution people to take a step back. We're just looking at ideas. And your ideas count. We want to hear about them. And trust me, I've gotten a lot of feedback. So
well, and
which is great.
It is. It is great. The one thing, another. So we talked about the trees here. I'm not that versed in the bump outs that they've been talking about. Here's in a layman's vision, which is mine. I see the bump outs being more of a problem in turning and slowing down traffic, maybe even more. Well, that's just by perception. So a layman's perception, the bump outs, although they look really nice, but is that going to help our traffic through downtown? Okay,
so you may remember last summer, I think it was, we have a complete streets committee, which I've been on for about 6 years now. We've started doing these urban tactical planning processes, basically temporary ballards, temporary lines. We did some bump outs last summer at Garrow in Michigan, and the reason you do that is you get, before you make any permanent structures, you have a temporary put there. And so we've learned from that experience that was not what we want to do. So that's exactly why we do these. And they were too big, came into the road. We did all 4 corners and it wasn't good. And so we learned from that. Now we're going to do another one in May, pretty much the whole month of May. We're going to do every other corner. We're going to start with the old Heartland. No, I'm sorry, Reese in front of the Reese, and this bump out's not going to be nearly as big. It's like 5 feet out. Is it going to
be similar to Bremen? Because I got a picture taken of Bremen, because Bremen's got bump outs, but they're not nearly as
it's more like
sticking
that.
out. I mean, it's not bad.
Right.
I don't think it really affects the turning that they have.
And so we're going to alternate corners. So one in front of the Reese, one in front of the museum, one in front of Dance Expressions, and one in front of the brass rail right here. And so it won't be all 4 corners or the intersections, but that will allow you to still turn left or right in pretty much every spot. So it won't. If somebody's turning left, you'll be able to go around them. And you'll always be able to turn right because those corners won't have bump outs.
Right.
So we're going to play with that a little bit and see how that looks. I believe that'll work. I kind of wanted to do that last year, but they overruled me and did the one they did. But so we're going to try that now. And so
for our listeners who didn't get a chance to go to that meeting, there was 2 proposals.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but it wasn't just. That's just the first 2. We might have 8 or 9 by the time we're done.
Okay.
So that we didn't have to choose between A or B, and so we probably will take a little of each and come up with something. Okay. But we'll get there.
So I, again, not knowing anything about the bump outs, but I was sent examples of how Bremen did theirs.
Yeah, Bremen looks great.
I like how Bremen's look.
I know, right?
And they're not as wide as the plan kind of looked to begin with.
Now they do parallel parking in Bremen, just to caution you.
They do,
and so,
but they also don't have the traffic.
Well, that's Highway 6. They have traffic.
They got traffic, but it's not like it is at 3:00 in the afternoon here.
I know you'd be surprised.
No. Listen, I've been in Bremen, and I don't think it's anywhere near that. And here's the other thing that doesn't get talked about with the parallel parking is the fact that it takes a while, whether people want to believe it or not, to parallel park because not everybody is really good parallel parkers.
I'm one of those.
Yeah, and I love parallel parking. I don't have a problem parallel parking.
I can do it,
but it takes time. That means it slows. And when you see someone put on the brakes, if you're too close, you keep them from parallel parking.
Right.
So I mean, it's one of those scenarios where my only problem with that is it takes away 60 parking spaces in the downtown area.
And
I think for us. We need that.
Yeah, I think it's probably not likely that we'll do parallel.
Yeah,
we'll see, but I don't think it will.
Now, would that, out of curiosity, would that parallel parking extend on the existing streets going east-west?
Well,
or is that
east-west are already parallel.
Oh, that's right, they are.
Yeah, okay. So. Yeah, but
and everybody does it.
Yeah, like in post office, for example, you get lucky. You don't have to actually back up in parallel park. Right. You can pull right in most of the time.
Right,
and that's I'm always that's always the best.
Right, I agree. No, I agree.
And but speaking of that street that section right there on Garrow between Michigan and the alley, going towards the post office. That's kind of going to be, we're hoping, we already use it quite often. We shut it down for, I think Rotary does it, they used to do a pancake.
Days,
but that usually is the gathering spot. We shut her down for a couple hours and so we want to make that more attractive, more aesthetics and, that kind of thing. And some decorative ballards and stuff. And then maybe perhaps a gate that would shut when we're ready to use that for that purpose. But yet still, it's a through street. We wouldn't. Anyway, we could close it, but I think it'd always stay open. But anyway, that'll be nice.
Now, so
maybe a fire pit in there or so.
So refresh my memory on this one. If you were coming from the east, going to the post office, is that closed or is that open? And if you're coming from the west, the right lane is open. You mean only to the turn in the post office?
Well, when we close it or when we shut it down, half that street down,
Okay.
you can't drive in there, period.
Oh, so that whole thing was just based on event.
Yeah, you'd have it open mostly.
Yeah, because I wasn't quite understanding
mostly
it.
Mostly
I
open.
missed that. My apologies.
So mostly it'll be for through traffic, like our normal days.
Right.
But
if an event takes place,
we can easily shut her down. And
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, like I said, maybe a fire pit in there or something, some other decorative benches and stuff. I don't know. Anything's on the table right now.
Oh, absolutely.
We can look at any designs, and that's why we do this. And, I kind of see this as a 4 or 5, maybe 6 year project. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe towards the end of this
that's
year.
That's pretty ambitious. I think it would take longer than that.
Yeah, that's doable.
Well, I like where your head's at with this. I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
I hope it happens.
So it's been, by the time we do get to it, it'll be a half century since the last time a revitalization took place in our downtown. Mm-hmm. That's a long time, Tony. It's time.
Another thing you were talking about too is the extension of the sidewalks here in Michigan.
Extension of the sidewalks.
Well, for more seating.
Yeah,
for our restaurants and stuff like that.
I believe our sidewalks are 15 feet currently, which is a pretty good size.
I think it is.
Yeah, and some of those, in one of the drawings, I think it bumped them to 20 feet.
Yeah, and then that's when the parallel parking would come in.
Yeah, I'm still thinking and hopeful we can extend them just maybe a couple feet, but still,
I agree.
Still do angle parking.
Yeah, I agree.
Have a turn lane and stuff.
And it'd still make a difference.
Yeah.
It'd still make a difference.
Yeah, it'd be nice to... sidewalk sales and
folks,
things like that.
The important part about this is, and we hope you can attend more meetings that come up because...
Yeah,
a lot of folks didn't. A lot of people I'm hearing from didn't get a chance to go to the meeting.
Right,
and so they're asking questions, and thinking, they're already coming up with people not happy with suggestions that were taking place and weren't even there at the meeting.
Yeah,
and I get that, and my thing is be patient with this because. Yep. This is
we
want
to hear your input,
ideas.
Right. We want your ideas too. And the point is, it has to happen. We can't just not do anything. So I think we'll try to advertise better. Maybe I don't know with the next meeting.
Okay. How much of this extends beyond just Michigan?
Yeah.
To Garrow.
So we want to go from the viaduct bridge through the intersection of Jefferson and Michigan Street, and then each side street in between those, just one block over.
Okay.
So
that's part of the revitalization of it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So
well, I mean, I like I said, and I'll preface this again. I am the only thing I care about is the aesthetics of this downtown. There are little things that got to get taken care of, and one of those little things for me is these trees.
Yeah, the trees.
They got to go. They just got to go, and we can put in beautiful 6 foot.
Yeah, there's.
Well, I don't even know what you call them, but
right. I'm not a tree I don't know either, but I know.
Beautiful.
Yeah, there's things that can be done.
And I think just that move alone could just change the perception of what the downtown looks like.
Yeah.
So
on top of that, we're revamping the facade grant, the revitalization grant, I think is the name of it, that we currently have on the books. We're revamping that. We've got a committee working on suggestions. So in the meantime, while we're considering doing something with the streetscape, business owners and building owners can apply for some grants to maybe spruce up their building, and so we're working that angle also. So. It'll all come together.
Right.
It's just going to take a few years.
Listen, while we're doing it, let's do it.
Yeah. So
let's get the ball rolling now because you don't know when it all starts, but hey, we'll have this money.
Right. And so one thing I will mention is we've got a comprehensive plan that we just completed. It's called Plymouth Forward 2040. You're probably familiar with that. Out of that, we created a implementation team, I call it. Instead of leaving the comprehensive plan sitting on the shelf and getting dusty, we've got a group of volunteers who are really it's an exciting group. And oh wait, you know what? You actually joined one of the subcommittees. I forgot about that with marketing. Yeah. So marketing. So one of the this committee has now broken up into subcommittees, and like you're on the marketing one, we have a facade grant one, a zoning one. Anyway, so the I guess what's nice is these guys now are working on how to improve that facade grant and get some real teeth behind it. So hopefully we'll get people to take advantage of it and use it. So
right, it has to be. I mean, we got to take every little bit of dollars we're able to get.
Right.
Because this is what we're talking about here is not inexpensive, stuff. It's going to cost a little bit of money here and there.
Yeah.
Have you been able to kind of look into that crystal ball, the financial part of something like this? Is the city going to have to kick in an X amount? Or,
well, yeah, there'll be. We just have to start looking at grant opportunities, and I'm learning a lot in that arena. So we're busy trying to figure out all of that. I've been using this expression a lot, is FOMO, fear of missing out. So it's and it's funny because I just came back from a mayor's conference last week in Indianapolis, and a lot of the new mayors are feeling that, like fear of missing out. There's so much to learn and stuff, and there's so many opportunities. I'm fearful that I'm missing something. So
right, yeah, I'm sure,
yeah. So we'll find it.
Yeah. Like I said, I think these kind of studies are extremely helpful.
Yeah. I will say one of the things that we talked about last night was funding a similar study for Oak Road.
I'm down with that too.
So we want to hire the Troyer Group to do a study from Washington School all the way to Highway 30 on Oak. So we got the blessing last night in our meeting to go forward with that. So those plans will start.
Okay.
Again, that one is probably a 10-year project. That's a major thoroughfare, and that one will take some time, but we have to start somewhere. And so we'll have some really good ideas within a year of how Oak Road can be transformed. Now we go to work on timing of it.
Are they looking? I mean, gosh, we got industries all along Oak. We've got regular businesses. We've got a little mall there, strip mall there, and even a smaller one across from it almost by Center Bank, and then we got homes.
Yep.
That's going to be a whole new ball of wax to deal with.
All right, and so that's part of the issue why it will take so long, just to partner with everybody and get them comfortable with what we're doing. I think we're going to have pretty good success with, I think some of the manufacturing businesses are going to appreciate a lot of their employees they walk that road now and ride a bike, and it's not safe.
No,
and
no.
they got to get their employees to work somehow, and I think they understand that, and they'll come along with us.
Yeah. And that safety is going to have to be a number one priority for Oak Road.
Yeah, and get people to that small strip mall there. Well, both sides, you're right.
Plus you got a graveyard there.
Yep.
There's a cemetery.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a cemetery.
Yeah.
Catholic
cemetery.
You can't uproot that.
No.
Good Lord.
There's a way of doing all this, but that's why.
To me, instead of looking at it as it's a uniqueness. It'll be a uniqueness of Oak Road.
Yeah.
When it's all said and done.
Yeah.
And like there's some things you're going to have to really work around to make it work.
Yeah, and so but you got to start somewhere, right? And so,
absolutely,
absolutely. So by putting a little money towards these plans, and then when the opportunities, the funding presents itself, we're ready to go.
And here's what I like about this, and folks, hear me out here for a second. Okay, you're going into a town you don't know. You need to take a pit stop or bathroom break or whatever the scenario is, or grab a snack, or because there's a gas station there because the signs show it. And when you turn into a road that you see, it's got a nice, the appearance is great, it looks safe, and you see all kinds of other businesses and fast food places where all you want to do is take that quick pit stop. It becomes alluring to go travel.
Right.
I mean, I do it everywhere I go. I test where I'm at, knowing the fact I'll probably get lost.
Yeah.
But it's alluring. It's alluring me to go see what's there.
Right.
And we can make Oak Road that allurement.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, because we're going to have on the north side of it the malls that have Marshalls and everything there, and we got restaurants popping up there and new businesses. You know, hey,
Yep.
you know, it's. I don't know. I hate saying it's when the iron's hot, you strike. But this might be what helps the development part of things.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. But the idea is to, and we've got some other ideas I'm not going to speak to yet today, but having the plans ready to go is critical. At least because opportunity. I'll give you an example. We had a trail design through Price's Pond that the Complete Streets Committee and the Park Department said this would be nice to have someday. We had, I believe that was Troyer's also that had it drawn up. Well, we were sitting in a meeting one time, and a gentleman from MACOG said, "Hey, I know of this. I think it's a next level grant, trails grant. But guess what? It's due in 28 days, end of the month." And we're like, we got one. We were able to, so we hurried up and applied for it, which it was a very competitive one, but we got it. And so now that's going to happen. So,
and that's in my,
but we had the plans. We had the plans ready. I mean, not shovel ready, but we had the concept and a nice drawing of it.
Well, that's what's got to start.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's got to start.
So that's why we do these things. Anyway.
All right. Well, I'm in overtime with you because of your busy schedule. So
I've got.
I mean, we could probably spend another half hour to an hour talking about this stuff. But,
I'm going to be gone. I've got to drive to Gainesville, Florida this weekend.
Oh yeah.
And me and a couple of friends are going to a kid's wedding down there.
All right. Family?
So it's my middle daughter's friend.
Okay.
And they've been friends since preschool, that type of thing. So I watched this girl grow up, and they went all the way through Purdue together. And so all her gang's getting together, and so another set of parents and I are going down. But they talked me into driving, so I'm going to drive it Thursday night. Come back on Monday night. So
all right, my friend, we'll be safe.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, thanks, Tony.
Good to see you.
Yep.
That's Mayor Robert Listenberger joining us here on Marshall County today. Back to wrap it up after this.